Hey everybody, my name is Jacob. I'm with the service team, and today we're going to do our brief issue overview on human trafficking. Yes, human trafficking, also known as modern-day slavery. Human trafficking affects between 21 to 27 million people worldwide. 21 million people! So, by definition of human trafficking, it is the illegal transportation of one person to one area from another. But that's kind of vague, so we're going to do a brief overview of the process of human trafficking, which includes it's a three-part process. It's the acts, the means, and the purpose. So the first step in this vicious issue of human trafficking is the act. Specifically the act of recruiting. The main tool used by many human traffickers is the internet. Back pages. The next step in the process of human trafficking is the means. And these are the means to recruit somebody. And these are usually done through force, cohesion, or fraud, deceit, all ill manner. These methods usually involve emotional abuse, economic abuse, isolation, threats, or physical abuse. And the last stage involved in human trafficking is the purpose. And there are three main purposes to human trafficking. Labor trafficking, the most common trafficking, 14.2 million victims worldwide. 14.2. So when it comes to labor trafficking, these victims are forced to work without pay or with little pay or insufficient pay, and usually in terrible working conditions. We see this in a variety of industries, and if not all industries, either in the nation or internationally. Some of the most common victims of labor trafficking are migrants. Common forms of labor trafficking are domestic servitude, agricultural, and factory work. Apart from labor trafficking, there is sex trafficking, not to be confused with prostitution. Prostitution, sex trafficking, not the same thing. There are currently 4.5 million victims of sex trafficking worldwide. What usually happens is a family and the individual are misinformed of a job opportunity, and the victim is isolated and put into a situation where they're exploited. When it comes to sex trafficking, the internet is the primary strategic tool for sex trafficking. Back pages. Back pages. Our last purpose of human trafficking we have is war slavery, which isn't really common in the United States, with around 2.2 million victims globally. This includes children or people who are basically trafficked to work in the military. The UN has actually reported the recruitment of children soldiers in over 55 countries. The UN globally expects there to be around 250,000 to 300,000 child soldiers. Children who are sold to militia and rebel groups and forced to kill other people. So those are your three main purposes of human trafficking. You got labor trafficking with about 14 million victims, sex trafficking with about 4.5 million victims, and then you have war slavery with about 2.2 million victims. Now, if we look at the most at-risk populations, or the people most vulnerable to being human trafficked, they are women and children, recent migrants or people who are relocating, people with substance use concern, homeless youth, people with mental health concerns, and people with unstable housing. Here's the good news. We can change things, and we can help fix this problem of human trafficking. It requires raising awareness and helping support programs who are on the front lines of this issue. Raising awareness! Human trafficking is real! With 10 million victims! We gotta be loud about it. We gotta shout. We gotta raise awareness to people. Human trafficking is real. We gotta support the programs who are on the front lines of this battle. These people are on the front lines, getting their hands dirty, supplying the support for these victims. These people are the ones who are making an incredible impact and have the resources to make an impact. So we need to support these big programs. Because here's the truth, guys. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Simple as that. If we don't actively seek to change our world, then nothing's going to change. There's going to be people who will continue to be trafficked. There will continue to be children soldiers. There will continue to be women and children who are forced into sex trafficking rings. There will continue to be migrants and farmers who are put into labor trafficking, made to work with little to no payment and unfair working conditions. There are going to be people who have to face emotional, physical, sexual abuse if nothing changes. This has been your issue overview brought to you by Servus. Please like, follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out our Facebook page. In a world where it's easy to be blind to the issues in our communities, we at Servus only have one thing to ask. Stay woke, y'all. Stay woke. Knowing is but the first step to solving any problem.